the da'wah of Maktabat Salafiyya or Salafi publications, and likewise the da'wah of Shaykh Abdul Aziz bin Baz and Ibn Uthaymeen and Al-Albani and Muqbil bin Hadi and Ahmed al-Najmi and Shaykh Salih al-Fawzan, and likewise if you want to go throughout history, right through the great scholars throughout history up until you reach the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, and likewise the da'wah of the rest of our brothers in the various Islamic centers and masajid around the dunya, including Markaz al-Darimi here, and likewise our brothers in the US and in other parts of the world, whether it be Morocco or Egypt or other than that, then their da'wah is one and the same, meaning that our da'wah with all of these names that I've mentioned is a singular da'wah, and that is the da'wah Salafiyya, the da'wah of the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba and those who followed them and those who followed them from the great scholars up until this age. It is one da'wah. How does that differ from the da'wah of the Jamiat AhleHadeeth in the United Kingdom? And first and foremost, the Jamiat, the Markaz Jamiat AhleHadeeth in the United Kingdom, then by and large their da'wah is the da'wah of Ikhwan al-Muslimin. Their outlook is the outlook of Ikhwan al-Muslimin. Does that mean that they are mushrikun? No. I don't say that they commit shirk and worship their graves, because they don't. But they have bid'ah with them, and mukhalafat and oppositions to the kitab and the sunnah and the ijma' and the aqidah, meaning in the affairs of manhaj, that opposes those books that we mentioned earlier, such as the aqidah of the Raziyain, Abu Hatim and Abu Zur'a, the aqidah of Imam al-Barbahari in Sharh al-Sunnah, the aqidah of Ahmed ibn Hanbal, the aqidah of Ibn Battah, the aqidah of Ibn Abi Dawud al-Sijistani, the aqidah of those great a'imma like Imam al-Lalaka'i in Sharh Usul al-I'tiqad, Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah. They oppose their aqidah. They oppose it in terms of their involvement in politics, their cooperation with Ahlul Bid'ah, their toleration of the ideas of Ahlul Bid'ah, whether it be Jamaat al-Tabligh, Ikhwan al-Muslimin, demonstrations in the streets, entering into the arena of politics, into that part of the arena that the Sharia forbids. This you will find with them, and likewise with their counterparts here in Pakistan and India. They are upon the same thing, that their da'wah is a da'wah, and they are a jama'ah. Shaykh Ubaid al-Jabiri hafidhahullah ta'ala, from the great scholars of our times, mentioned that their da'wah is da'wah siyasiyya. It is not da'wah salafiyya, meaning that their whole outlook is a political outlook, by and large. I don't say every single last one of them, but by and large in the UK, all of them, because I can speak for the UK, because I've seen their habits and I've experienced them for 30 years. As for Pakistan, from what I recognize and what I see, and from India, that their da'wah is deeply rooted in political expediency and in that haraki da'wah, in that da'wah that seeks the kursi, or to put so and so in leadership positions, and marching in the streets, like they give fatwa in India for the people to go out marching in the streets when the hijab was banned, for example. And a few years ago, or 2 years ago, when they gave fatwa for the people to go out marching against the laws about Indian citizenship. And you find them in much of their behavior that there is tanaqud, meaning that there is contradictions and oppositions to the kitab and the sunnah in India and in Pakistan. You don't see them forbidding the evil very often, or very rarely. And in my experience with them and their counterparts in the UK, because they have come from India and Pakistan to set up the Jamiat, the Jamiat AhleHadeeth in the UK with their various branches, is not a homegrown da'wah. It is imported from the Indian subcontinent, mainly from Pakistan, but also remnants and parts from India. And you see the same type of behavior out there, that they will warn against the da'wah to Salafiyya. So all of them are united in attacking Maktabat Salafiyya. All of them. They are not upon the da'wah of the books of Aqeedah that we've mentioned. They don't teach them, and they don't read them. They don't teach their followers these books, nor do they connect them to this people of knowledge. They themselves regard themselves to be sufficient as scholars who issue them fatwa. And that's why you see them so disjointed and separated. Even in Pakistan, they're not united. They have these jam'iyat in Pakistan that they say that we are people of hadith, but they themselves, that they have opposition between them. Some of them lean towards the ideas of Ikhwan al-Muslimin and even Jamaat al-Takfir, and khuruj and rebellion against the rulers. You see them openly speaking against the rulers and marching in the streets. Then you have those who are completely apolitical, have nothing to do with politics, and they have nothing to do with manhaj. So they don't warn against bid'ah or ahlul bid'ah. You don't hear them speaking against the Jamiat of bid'ah and misguidance. Rather, they'll cooperate with them even. So their khutbah are filled just with fadail. So when the masajid are filled, and the whole khutbah, week after week after week, revolves around fadailul a'mal, righteous deeds, not around the aqidah. And when they do deal with the aqidah, it's tawheed rububiyyah. And I've seen that with my own, or I've heard that with my own ears. Khutbah after khutbah. Last year, I think I attended 4 khutbah at one masjid, in Pakistan. And all 4 khutbah were revolving around tawheed rububiyyah. No touching on asma wa sifat, no on al-ibadah. When the people are marching in the streets, they don't warn against it. When the people are worshipping at shrines and at graves, they don't pay attention to it. People are wearing taweels, in Islamabad, in the towns, in the cities, and the villages. You hardly ever hear of it being mentioned in the khutb. So where's the da'wah of Tawheed? Where's the manhaj al-anbiya? So what's the difference between their da'wah and our da'wah? What's the difference between the da'wah of Sheikh bin Baz, Sheikh Rabi', Sheikh Ubaid, Sheikh ibn Uthaymeen, Sheikh Muqbil, Sheikh al-Fawzan, and Maktaba Salafiyya, and likewise the rest of the masajid and marakiz that we are connected to and affiliated to and make ta'awun with? And these people, our da'wah is the da'wah of the anbiya and the rusul. As for their da'wah is da'wah, predominantly da'wah siyasiyya. They are jama'at as-siyasiyya. They are groups of politics and misguidance, cooperating, tolerating, allowing, and even propagating bid'ah. And there are numerous examples of their various bid'ahs in the UK and in Pakistan and in Hind. And many of our brothers, they have written about it and warned against it. Likewise, on my website you'll find something with respect to Jamiat AhleHadeeth in the UK and their leadership, and how over the last 20-30 years that they have corrupted the youth, claiming that they are Ahlul Hadith, but they are not people who cling to Hadith. They are people of siyasa and cooperation with Ahlul Bid'ah. Barakallahu feekum.